Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing Discussions. We are taking it where we last off. Just keep in mind that it's all about the OPSEC, right? Not compromising myself and or others. So therefore, all this information is not in real time. It's going to be periodically, just throughout the process. All right. So a lot of the stuff that I've done is in passing. So I'm just basically going over it again. So the passion and the dramatic effect may not be there. I may have to force it, just to simulate, real time, but I'm not. So basically, where we left off, I had to resubmit the 368, the form 368, because the FSS did not annotate on the back of my 368 that there were no adverse actions, no Article 15s, no kind of punishments pending, right? So that was the case, and I resubmitted it. This was around mid-December, all right, heading towards the Christmas season, right, holidays. So during that point, it's like, all right, well, let's wait. So I waited until January. No, I think for Christmas, that Christmas week, I sent him a text, right? I was just a little bit strategic in my text, right? I just sent him a text. I said, listen, hey, Staff Sergeant recruiter. I said, listen, hey, I'm not going to be around my, or I'm not going to be checking my email so often. So if you need me, just go ahead and contact me via telephone. Now, was there a reason for that? No, but I just did it just to sort of keep unforced contact. You know what I'm saying to you? Because the forced contact is me just deliberately calling them all the time. But that was like an unforced contact, just basically relaying some information or some pertinent information that he may need to know in the event that he needs to contact me, right? So you need to strategically, contact these recruiters and not make it seem as if you're sort of forcing it all the time. So that's why I call it unforced contact. So then he said, yeah, he replied. That was a good thing about him. He normally responds, he replies after the first time. Sometimes I'll have to do it a second time, to email him or let him know, hey, I sent you an email. Then he respond via text. But he's pretty good with that. So he responded, and the week went on, and the holidays came back. So I checked again with him. I said, listen, I am not trying to pressure you, but I'm just, checking in to see how things going on, whatever. And this is like the first week of January, because I'm getting antsy because I don't know what's going on. And the reason I'm getting antsy is not because of the fact that I'm just so, like, I want to be a pain in the butt. It's just I don't like being in limbo, right? I don't like these things happening where everything is behind the scenes and you have no idea what's going on, right? I like to have at least a little bit of heads up or knowledge of as to what's happening, right, with the process. And so I ran into a lot of people just not really understanding or what happens. I guess because it doesn't happen too often where direct duty or prior service go back to active duty, right? Because it's been very difficult for the past few years. Like I said before, I've been doing this since 2011, trying to get back in. So he said, just wait. I called him, I texted him, he said just wait, and if he gets any information, he'll let me know. Second week or third week of January again, I text him. I said, listen, not trying to pressure you. I know you're doing your job, whatever. However, I just want to know, like, what's going on. I just want to let you know that I just want to know what's going on, behind the scenes. Can you give me a little bit more information of how the process works? Just because the thing is, as a recruiter, this is, I guess, if a recruiter is listening to this, or if you are an aspiring recruiter, or even someone who is a leader or a communicator, the worst thing you can do is keep somebody in limbo, even in a relationship, right? You always have to communicate insofar as providing that person some kind of peace of mind, right? Just letting them understand and be comfortable with the idea of what's happening, right? Just provide them at least enough information. Even if you can't commit, because I know some people, the recruiters, they can't commit, but at least try to provide them as much information and communicate with them as best as possible. But I know that a lot of the times people may not be, or may not have wanted to be in the recruiter's position. They just got stuck with it, and their communication skills are not the best. So, in any situation, you have people that just end up getting jobs or AFSCs that they didn't really want and they hated, and they don't apply themselves, and so their communication sorely lacks. You see that often in various areas of career fields, and even on the civilian side as well. Now, so I told him, I said, listen, man, just all I want is just that peace of mind, just let me know how things are, going, whatever, and I'll be cool. He says, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. As soon as I get information, I'll let you know. And I'm like, holy cow, this guy is like really starting to piss me off. So anyway, fast forward the first week of February, I'm starting to get antsy. So I go online, forums, start figuring out. I'm not going to give details as to which forums I went on to, obviously, OPSEC, right? I was like, listen, I need to find out what's happening. So I went in, I saw some people that may have had some information, or some people that had, really previous experience to this whole prior service thing. And one person said, yeah, we had put, a record number of people. So boom, I now private message that person. I told the person my situation, and that I wasn't sure what the job was, or how everything is, if I was going to have to retrain or what have you, because of the limited amount of spaces. And that person replied, was like, yo, your recruiter is wrong. There's a new memo out that came out as of September 2016 that basically states that there is no listing for direct duty, right? So basically it's open, and that you can basically come in as direct duty if the functional managers allow. So she went on to say that, yeah, she put in, in her flights, she's not a recruiter, but she's a chief. I think she basically supervises recruiters, and she's a chief, and she basically said, yeah, just you tell your recruiter that he's gonna have to check that PGM 500, which is on the portal, and get the ball cracking on that. But she said that he may not know, simply because of the fact that not too many recruiters do this, and they're not sped up on all information, right? So I text him. I said, listen, hey, a friend of mine is going through the same process, and according to him, he's going direct duty, and he doesn't have to have an AFSC, or he doesn't have to retrain. And I said, the only reason why I'm telling you that is because I had been, and which is true, I worked with another recruiter before, but he left. He got relieved of duty because I guess he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. So this new recruiter took over, and as a result, we didn't get to talk about a lot of things in terms of retraining and stuff like that. So he basically just asked me if I wanted to retrain, and he gave me the list, but there were no options as to if I can go direct duty or so forth and so on, whatever. So I basically said, hey, listen, if I still have the option to go direct duty, I want to do that, if possible. Then he came up with some kind of response, some weird response, and then I waited. Okay, after he called me back This is January 15th now. No, sorry, yeah, January 15th. No, sorry, 23rd. The 23rd. He calls me and he's like, hey, I'm going to need this information from you, this information, this information, this information. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, when I was speaking to the what do you call it again? The chief, right? The flight chief online. I asked her, hey, is it possible that I can contact the functional manager directly, right? Because maybe I may have someone, because since I'm on orders, I'm on active Title 10 orders on base, and maybe I can get a chance to see if maybe my superintendent can contact. And he said it's worth a try. So that January 23rd, I received a phone call from my recruiter, basically asking me some information, right? Like my point systems, my EPRs and stuff like that. And I remember reading that on the PGM, and he told me, oh, well, there's this new system, we're just gonna go whatever, so we need this information, boom, boom, boom. So I was like, yeah, it got kicked back, because it specifically said on the PGM, if all information is not within the packet, then it's gonna get kicked back. And I was like, yeah, it got kicked back, because I didn't submit that information previously. So I sent that to him, and then I told him, because that same week I had spoken to my superintendent, and I said, hey, is it possible maybe you can contact, well, I went to my chain of command first, right? And then my superintendent said, yeah, because he knows him, he knew him directly. So he was like, he'll contact him. So that same week, that same day, my superintendent asked me for my social, because he was like, hey, the what's his name can't find you in the system. And so then I was like, oh, okay. So that's when I told the recruiter, I was like, listen, I'm going to be contacting the functional manager. Is it okay, right, with you? And he said, sure, yeah. He says, it's going to make my life a whole lot easier. I'm like, all right, cool. So I CC'd him my information, and I also told I'm sorry, yeah, I CC'd him my, well, actually I received prior acknowledgement from the recruiter first. Before any of this happened, I spoke to the recruiter, and I told him, hey, listen, I spoke to my superintendent. He said he's going to help me out with with contacting the functional manager, and he said, yeah. That's when I CC'd him. Then a couple of days later, I received a phone call from him requesting that information, and then that same day, my superintendent told me that I wasn't in the system. That's what happened. So basically, that's where we are right now. As per this video, I'm going to go into the next block later on as far as to what happened. But so as far as we're concerned, I got in contact with the functional manager. However, the functional manager hooked me up, but I wasn't in the system. He couldn't find me, and come to find out that the recruiter basically messed up. He didn't get the proper information that he needed in order to submit to the squadron, his operations. So I'm gonna leave it off right here, and we'll come back to the next section, because I know I just want to keep these short, and I'll give you a briefing as to what happened afterwards. All right, Johnny Fontana, Half a Million Discussions. We out.